Hello, welcome back. Today we are doing the fourth week of four for February's budget. I get paid every single Wednesday, so this is the last Wednesday of the month and the very last paycheck of February. Oh my gosh, February has gone by super fast. So I have my breakdown here and my cash envelopes here. Let's get into it. Oh, hi there, and welcome to C2C, a channel where I post every single week about getting my life together in terms of culture, finance, and overall lifestyle. If you want to be part of the journey, please subscribe to follow. And today's video is part of my series called Financial Fridays, where I post every single week. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so like I said, I get paid every single Wednesday. So February is 4 Wednesdays, so this week 4 out of 4. My incoming paycheck was $610.06. That is what we're starting with. Right here we have my budget breakdown. So the first tier is everything that is a fixed expense that is necessary to pay. So everything that I need and require to live. That is the same amount every single month. So for me, that's $120 for insurance, $80 towards my retirement fund, $25 for subscriptions like Netflix, etc. That is my first tier. After I've paid all those things, any leftover money will go to my necessary spending. So for this week, it was $65 for Costco. That was a terrible 6. I think I wrote 5. It's actually a 6. Set it right on top of it. $50 for gas, $50 for groceries, $107.43 towards school. And then once all of my 100% necessary payments are done, any extra money I have for the week will then go into my bills envelope and then my sinking funds. Now I do it this way. I have a very low and inconsistent paycheck period. So one week I might have a ton of hours, the next week I might have none. So I do it this way to make sure that any extra money that I have is properly being allocated to a savings. That way, if one week I have literally no hours, I have money stashed away to pay any upcoming bills. And all of my spending in terms of fixed spending and fixed bills up here will not match my bills for the week, and that's because I always put away money here in the week. I always budget 2 weeks ahead of time, so these things that I'm putting money in will actually not run through my account until next week or the week later. And that just ensures by the time that bill comes around, there's money sitting there waiting to be used. So when I total all of this up, the total of my cost for spending in terms of my budget breakdown comes to $497.43. So that means that I have $112.63 left over that I don't need to pay off my necessary bills. So what I'm going to do is immediately transfer $263 to my emergency fund, and that's because in Canada the largest bill that we have is a $5 bill. So when it comes to stuffing my envelopes, I don't want to put coin in it, so I just take that money and just throw it into my emergency fund savings account. And eventually that probably will build up into a little bit of money over time if you always put your coin off to a savings account and only use whole bills. So when it comes to my savings account, that means I can sink and I physically have $110 to play with. Put that off to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my envelopes. I have my bills envelope, which has some cash from last week in it, my debt envelope, which I will not be stuffing, and that is because I don't really want to put any money towards my debt right now, unless I know for sure that I'm not needing that money to go to bills in the future. So if any money sits in my bills envelope and is not touched for like 2 months, then I'll go ahead and throw it on my snowball to pay off some debt. But until then, it'll sit here as a contingency plan in case I can't afford a bill later on. So this envelope we're not using. I have my gifts envelope, a personal envelope, household envelope, and travel. And I did get these off Etsy. I'll link the seller down below. She's great. I love her. Go ahead and grab my cash. So I should have $110 here. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, and 110. Perfect. I think in terms of my household, I do have tax season coming up, and my taxes are probably going to be about $60, give or take. So I'm going to go ahead and put $10 in that sinking fund to start paying off that, or paying towards that. I'm just going to write $10 here. I know that's not zoomed in, you can't really see, but trust I wrote $10. I'm going to take my household envelope here and a 10. Okay, and that's good. My travel envelope, I'm not going to put any money towards. Right now we're in a pandemic. Obviously people aren't traveling. I would not necessarily usually stuff this because travel is more of like a luxury for me. But I do have a very good friend who, when the pandemic kind of settles down, hopefully soon, she's actually moving to California and getting married. So I do need to save up for that trip and to be part of that wedding experience. Okay, then we have my personal. I do need a few things for personal. I'm almost out of shampoo and stuff like that, so I need to put some money away from that. So I'm just going to put a 10. Oh, if I could get this open. Wow, I suck. Put $10. That one is stuffed. And then gifts. I do have quite a few gifts coming up in May. It is 2 of my best friends' birthday plus Mother's Day, so I do need to start saving up for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put $10 in that one as well. Okay, all good. Okay, and then the rest of this is going to go into my bills envelope as an overflow in case in the upcoming weeks I can't afford any of my bills. There should be $60 in here from last week. I'm just going to go ahead and count that. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. Perfect. And I'm going to add the rest of this in here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, and $80. Perfect. So that gives me a grand total of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. 140. Perfect. Go ahead and put that away. Okay, so these are one of the ones that didn't get stuffed. We have my bills, gifts, personal, and household all ready to go. Okay, that's all 110 allocated. My expense tracker here, I put all of my expenses on a card and I've just color coded which card I've used. I like to do this for a various bunch of reasons. One of the first is we're in a pandemic right now and it's just a little bit safer and cleaner for you to use a card than go into stores and buy things in person or touch the machines or carry cash. So all of these have been either purchased online or just like tapping my card. I like to do my groceries as an online pickup because then I can just go pick it up really quick. I don't have to shop around, and it means that I can order my groceries from home, which means I can actually meal plan and open up my fridge and see what I actually need for the week. And that way I can only order what I need and see what I already have and not go over budget. I can actually see the physical cart adding up to how much I can afford. So I always am on budget for groceries because of that. Gas, I obviously can't buy online. I do have to go in person, but it usually costs about $50 to fill my tank. I actually didn't use any gas this week because it usually is $50 and it lasts me about 2 weeks, and I bought gas last week. I am going to leave this in my checking account as an expense account. I have like separate accounts at my credit union for different expenses. I am going to leave it in the gas one just because I'm not sure if in the upcoming weeks there'll be a week where I need gas and I can't afford it. So I'm just going to leave it in there to cover that. And because it's in a separate account from my normal checking account, it basically doesn't exist to me and I can't see it until I need that account. I won't transfer in and out of it. Costco was $65. I needed a lot of cleaning supplies and basically everything ran out at once. And I used exactly $65 because I budgeted for it and I had like my cashback coupon from my MasterCard. And then school was $107.43. I knew that ahead of time, so I didn't go over budget on that. I have all the cards here, and then I've actually gone ahead and paid that money when I was doing my breakdown. So I can actually write here that every single card is now paid off and ready to go. And that assures that my credit score is actually going up and or staying at a good credit score, because it can see that I'm using my cards. I have a good credit utilization, but it also means that I'm paying them off right away and never holding a balance, which is very good for your score. And you want a good credit score for things like when you go and buy a house or a car, so that your interest on your rate of interest for those credit purchases are going to be a little bit lower. So your mortgage and everything will be a better rate than someone who doesn't have a good credit score. And then when you go down into my bill tracker, I have what the bill is, the method, so if it was card or cash, when it is due, and the amount, whether or not it is paid. I actually don't have any bills running through this week. Like I said, these bills right up here are going to be running through in the couple weeks coming up. So there's actually nothing running through here, but the way that I would use this is, let's say it was the week for insurance, I'd write insurance here, I'd write that it ran through on my credit card, the day that it was due on my credit card, the amount it was, and whether or not I'd already paid off that card. And I like to do all of my bills for the most part as automatic payments on my cards. That way I know I never miss a single bill and I can just pay off that credit card before that credit bill cycle is due. Okay, so nothing there. Okay, so all of my bills here are taken care of, all of my cash envelopes are stuffed, and that actually leaves us with a final balance of $0 in my checking account. I always like to see a zero. I like to do a zero-based budget because that means every single penny of the money I made this week has a home, has a place, and has a purpose, and I've used it in my best ability. When I look at my checking account and I see money in there, I'm gonna think, oh, you know what, I can just get lunch through the drive-thru and X, Y, and Z. I don't need to bring food because, you know, I have a few extra dollars, or oh, let me get coffee in the morning, let me do this, this, and this, because I see those extra dollars. So by having a zero-based budget, I make sure that I trick myself into thinking, hey girl, you have no money, because at the end of the day, I really don't. And that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!